To understand how enterprise contracts are actually won, we have to look at the timeline of a modern corporate buyer. As this timeline shows, 80% of the B2B purchasing journey happens entirely out of sight, completed before a client ever speaks to your sales team. During that hidden research phase, corporate buyers evaluate your commercial landing pages. If your enterprise service page simply lists technology stacks like Python and AWS, alongside generic promises of quality, you are signaling risk. To a procurement officer, focusing on abstract code rather than business security makes your firm look like an operational liability. We are going to restructure your commercial pages to fix this. We will convert them from basic digital brochures into a validation layer. The specific goal of this architecture is to explicitly filter out cheap leads and provide the concrete proof required to establish digital trust. Until you implement this structure, your commercial pages will continue generating operational noise for your team instead of securing $50,000 contracts. Step 1 is implementing a strategy called negative filtering. We must set explicit boundaries right at the top of the page to actively repel unqualified traffic. Look at this mock-up of a landing page hero section. Directly underneath your main headline, you need to place a strict minimum budget threshold. Next, scroll down and add an anti-targeting block. This is a short, direct section stating exactly who your service is not for. For instance, clearly specify that you do not work with early-stage startups lacking validated funding. Doing this will cause a drop in your raw visitor traffic. That is the intended result. Filtering out micro-businesses and students stops bad leads at the source, saving your sales team hours of wasted operational time. Moving further down the page, we encounter a structural challenge. A successful commercial page must simultaneously satisfy two executives with conflicting priorities: the CEO who demands growth and the Chief Information Security Officer who fears risk. Address the CEO first in your top funnel messaging. Your initial case studies and headlines must highlight business ROI, acceleration of time to market, and strict financial efficiency. Immediately following those claims, you must pivot to the CISO. Place a rigorous risk mitigation section directly below the ROI outcomes to prove that your deployment will not expose their infrastructure to new threats. A highly effective enterprise page operates as a bouncer, keeping out the unqualified, and a bilingual translator addressing the entire boardroom. Now, audit your technical descriptions. Completely delete any sections that serve only as a list of coding languages or generic technical skills. Enterprise buyers are heavily scrutinized for third-party vulnerabilities. To address this fear, replace those generic lists with a secure by design framework to prove your process is inherently safe. This UI blueprint displays your compliance architecture, mapping distinct sections for ISO, SOC 2, or GDPR. Next, detail data privacy protocols, providing strict definitions on how you secure corporate data. Finally, document explicit service level agreements and a predictable model for the total cost of ownership. Corporate procurement officers do not buy raw code. They buy the guaranteed absence of regulatory fines and data leaks. The way buyers research vendors has changed. Instead of manual search queries, corporate teams now deploy large language models to generate initial vendor shortlists. To remain visible, you must implement AI engine optimization. Large language models extract information differently than humans, meaning your landing page content must be structured specifically for machine extraction. Step 1 of this optimization is formatting your page with a highly structured FAQ section, like the one shown here. Pair this with metric-driven case studies that use absolute numbers rather than vague adjectives. If an algorithm cannot parse your exact reliability metrics and pricing models, it will bypass you. You will be excluded from the CTO's research phase. Once you pass the AI filter and make the shortlist, your page enters the mid-funnel phase. Here, the CTO must internally justify selecting your premium firm to their board of directors. Provide them with comparison assets. Add a technical approach section that features a direct side-by-side comparison matrix pitting your methodology against standard industry practices. Deep comparison content gives your internal champion the precise arguments required to defend a $50,000 choice in the boardroom. With these elements in place, the overhaul is complete. Your generic digital brochure is now an active, risk-mitigating sales asset. You have taken a complex, intangible IT service and made it feel concrete, measurable, and highly secure on paper. This new structure requires a new way to measure success. As this dashboard shows, you must abandon traditional vanity metrics. Mass traffic and bounce rate are no longer useful indicators for a high-ticket page. Instead, high time on page and an increase in returning visitors are your actual targets. These metrics prove that qualified buyers are using your page for deep intermediate research. By publishing these structural changes, the heavy lifting of high-ticket conversion shifts permanently away from your sales team and onto your validation layer.